This is my third or fourth attempt to tell this story. So in September, I get a phone call from Carrie Hermansky. If you don't know Carrie, you're missing out. Anyway, so Carrie calls and she says that there is a warrant for my arrest. So I start asking questions. If I come down, are they going to put handcuffs on me? Because, my skin, it tears. And she said, they're going to treat you just like we treat everyone else. And then I had mentioned, I had asked, what about a bail bondsman? How much is bail? And she said, we're not going to call a bail bondsman for you. How'd that work for you, Carrie? Our very phone conversation is going to be the highlight. So I had said, well, how's this going to work? Because I'm oxygen dependent and treatments and things like that. They're not going to be able to do this in a jail cell. So she said, we'll take you to the hospital and we will stay with you until the next day and we'll transport you to court. Okay. So Michael and I had a little back and forth about, you're not going to be able to do this. What if they do put handcuffs on you? What if they don't call for a bail bondsman? So we called an attorney and they said, of course, they have to call bail bondsman. It was early. It was early in the day. It was not, a violent crime. It was nothing like that. And so anyway, so the attorney was pretty sure that I was going to get out and not spend the night in the hospital and all that other bullshit. Who was going to fucking pay for that, Carrie, huh? Who was going to pay for that? All for retaliation and bullying? Is this what? So you don't live in this fucking city. So who was going to fucking pay for that? Because someone's going to pay for it, right? As it stands, someone's going to be paying for me actually being put in a jail cell. So anyway, so the attorney had said, just call me if they don't call a bail bondsman and we'll figure it out. So, and the attorney actually told me to take the chance that they weren't going to come at 3:00 in the morning and just show up in court. And I, the way that I know how Pawtucket runs, where they they'll send Turtle Boy Sports to my house. You don't think they're not going to show the fuck up at 4 o'clock in the morning when I'm in my pajamas, right? So, yeah, fuck that. So, now, Michael didn't really care for this too much, but anyway, so we go down and you might have seen the video with me going to the Pawtucket Police Department. But anyway, I was prepared if they did put cuffs on me, after being told. Not only, I'm not even going to go there. Can't go there yet. So anyway, so I show up and right away, I call from the waiting area or whatever to let them know that I have arrived. And they said, okay. And then the second time I was like, I'm still here. What do they make you wait thinking that you're going to change your mind and walk out so that they can, knock you to the ground or something? I don't know what the fuck they were doing. But anyway, come to find out, they had to call female officers. Now, they knew I was fucking coming because I told Carrie I was coming. I told Carrie I was going to come down. So anyway, as soon as, and he was a nice officer, don't get me wrong, he was very nice. I don't know who he was. I couldn't see him Don't know if I would ever recognize him. But as soon as he opened the door, he said, "We've already called the bail bondsman." And so that didn't work for you, huh, Carrie? Huh, Carrie? Mm-hmm. It just goes to show Carrie's like intent when it comes to Lynn Farinelli. In fact, Carrie's the one that said that it's only my opinion that my son was not coming out gay the day he died. It was only my opinion, because obviously it's her opinion and it's Rafael Perez's opinion, all the people that didn't ever fucking know my kid. But anyway, this goes to Carrie's intent, right? Intent. She intended for me to be handcuffed. She intended that they were not going to call a bail bondsman. All this bullshit that Carrie it just shows that little, what is it called? Retaliation, bullying, threatening, harassing, all goes to Carrie, not to me. So anyway, so knowing that I wasn't going to be able to have my oxygen, and knowing that I was probably going to have a problem breathing, I had taken a prednisone and I had cut it in 4, and it was in my top pocket. They never found it, and I was able to take it while I was in the jail cell. So, yeah, because I didn't know how long it was going to take for the bail bondsman to get there. And while I was there, this exhaust comes on and it blows this moldy, musty, nasty air into the room. So it was a good thing that I did have the prednisone on board, and was able to take it while I was in their custody. I was able to take it. Just in case anybody's wondering how that works. I don't know. I guess, you can take drugs while you're in the jail cell. Mine was just medication, but nobody questioned it. So yeah. So now, they did call the bail bondsman, and I did get out. I think I'm going to do part 2 is what happened after that. Is there anything else I wanted to add about very, very polite, very professional. The 2 female officers and the male officer, no problem. Absolutely no problem. So just so you know, because they always act like, oh, you're mad at, the whole department. No, those 2 female officers, although they didn't find the medication in my left-hand pocket of my shirt, I'm trying to think if I thought that they were decent. They weren't, they were fine. And also, the male officer, no problems. In fact, I didn't even recognize his name, but, I had no problems with those 3 at all. So just, when you're checking off the list of, who I have a problem with, I did not have a problem with my interaction with them that day. Now, previous, Carrie, the one that they call Carl, yeah, I definitely had a problem with her. Definitely, her phone call, or fucking acting like, oh, we're not going to call bail bondsman. We're going to treat you just like everyone else, even though, putting cuffs on you, would cause major bleeding. But hey, this is what Frank fucking Milos wanted. It's one of those things. That can of worms. Once it's fucking opened, unfortunately, this is actually going to be used in another court of law, not just this one. But we'll lead up to that, because that will be the second part of this.